Welcome to the Marketing Strategies for Drastic Results show. I got to get used to my new title. This is Tony Harris Taylor, CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching and multi-unit franchisee with Network in Action. I am so excited for our next guest and to be here. We're going to talk today about follow-up. Now, the saying goes, the fortune is in the follow-up. My saying is, the fortune is lost in the lack of follow-up. So let me tell you about my next guest and how we got acquainted. First of all, I showed up at the International Franchise Conference, and walking the expo, I see a lady with blue hair. We're going to talk about the blue hair today, too. No, like literally blue hair. Remember back in the day when old people were accused of having blue hair? No, she has been dyeing her hair for a long time. I've since found out. And we're going to talk about how that blue hair helps her to stand out. Well, you know me, I'm all about the standing out. And so when I see her, I'm attracted to her. And we connect. This was in 2022. I remember it well. Connected at her booth. And for some reason, we didn't do the initial call date, you know, my dating strategy. And so we didn't do the initial date. And so a few months later, I saw her at another conference and we booked a date. And for some reason, I don't know, when we bring on, we'll ask her. We didn't get to date. And then her card was on my desk. Now, if you watched the first show of this year, we talked about the follow-up of cards on the desk. And so I followed up with her. Actually, I think I went into LinkedIn Messenger and said, enough is already. It's time for us to get connected. We hopped on a call last year and instant connection. And then last month I said, it's time for our catch-up call. Follow up is key. She's made several connections for me. I've made a couple connections for her. She's one of the newest members of my Network in Action franchisor supplier group, all because I followed up. So we're going to talk a lot about the fortune is in the follow-up today. We're going to talk about how to stand out with your brand. And I'm going to bring to the stage after our break, Mrs. Karen Booz of Answer Connect. Get ready to have some fun because she is a hoot and us together, it's going to be bananas. We'll be right back after this first break.
Are you a franchisor grappling with how to stimulate your franchisees' growth and revenue? Are the phrases, "I'm not comfortable networking," "I'm an introvert"? Enter Tony Harris Taylor, your answer to these challenges. With her expert guidance and program, you can empower your franchisees to conquer networking and community outreach. Tony's program is designed to equip your franchisees with the skills and confidence to show up to the right events with the right people. It goes beyond making connections. It's about nurturing and leveraging these relationships. It's about following up, collaborating, and generating leads and referrals to maximize conversions. And ultimately, increased revenue for your franchisees and for you, the franchisor. Are you ready to unlock this potential? Reach out to us at 832-479-2088. Let's embark on this journey of growth and success together.
Hey there, Ladybug. I am so happy to have you here. Meet my friend Karen Booz with Answer Connect. Hey, girl.
Hey, I feel like I should be dancing on my way out here.
I know the music. I mean, come on, the theme song and all that. So, Karen, I I told how we got together. Is that how you remember it?
That's exactly how I remember it, with just one thing. You were wearing all blue and so was I. So
I remember
we
that.
matched in
Yeah.
every area. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and like you said, yeah, we connected immediately. I think unicorns connect.
Yeah. So let's let you introduce yourself and then let's talk about how being a unicorn can help with marketing.
Okay, okay. I'm Karen Booz. The name is a real name, and now you can say you know somebody from the family where the word came from. And
Seriously?
yeah, seriously, yeah.
Well, we'll have to have that. Look, we'll have to have that conversation over a glass of booze.
Over a glass, right? And I'm the director of business development, focusing on franchisees, franchisors in the franchise space. So yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm glad you said yes. And so let's talk about the unicorn. So
Mhm.
you said that. So what did you mean when you said that? One unicorn recognizes another.
I think for me, it was your energy. I mean, initially it was, hey, we matched, right? And I have white and blue hair, and you were all dressed in blue. And so we matched. And it was the ability that you connected with, a smile right in the eye. You found something to connect with me as well. And I think when you do that, it's just automatically there's no way out of that connection. And so I think there are people who naturally do that. They naturally go with intent
Yeah.
to engage and connect. And when that happens, it's magic.
Well, you and I talked too about community outreach, and it drives you bananas when you see people with their booth set up and they are sitting behind the booth on their computer instead of being out there. And that's another thing I remembered about you. You really were engaging people to come past your booth, which is something I teach my clients as well. If you're going to be out in the community, you need to be making connections.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Show up. Show up and be there with intent. If people aren't coming up to you, and a lot of times when people go to events, they're like, no, I don't see you. Go out, call them by their name, call them by the name on their tag, be engaging, smile, encourage them to talk to you, even by saying, hey, like, we just want to say hi and hope you have a great day and wish you the best and have fun. And I think if you engage with people, and it seems authentic, that people will come over and start a conversation. And that's really in networking, where you build the relationship and then it can continue. Then there's a connection. They remember you for whatever reason, whether you called them out by their name or whether you matched.
Whether you match.
Whether
Let's
you
talk
match.
about blue hair because part of marketing is standing out
Mhm.
and being different. My signature that people know me by are different hairstyles. I wear a lot of wigs and I have 15 pair of glasses, and people know that. Plus, my energy is what makes me stand out. Why blue hair? How long have you had it? How did that start?
Well, it was by accident that it's become a marketing and personal brand. But about 20 years ago, when my oldest was in preschool, they had a day where they were going to draw pictures of their moms. And my daughter drew a picture of me with blue hair. And the teacher said, honey, people don't have blue hair. And she says, my mom does. Now, to your point earlier, blue hairs were, back in the day, ladies who had white hair who would go get their hair dressed, and they would have a blue rinse put through so that their hair stayed white and didn't turn brassy. Well, I didn't know you weren't supposed to do that every day. So my hair definitely had a tint to it. And when I showed up at the school, because the teacher really hurt her feelings, and she called the teacher a jerk. they called me and, I had to go down and talk to them. And mind you, this is just a little bitty girl. And the teacher was startled that I had blue hair, but didn't choose to apologize to my daughter. And what that showed me is that you have to stand up for people who are different. And this made my daughter different because people don't have blue hair.
Yeah.
So I went home and I told my husband, I said, I think I'm going to dye my hair blue. And he said, okay. And he asked why. And I told him the story. And I said, I want my kids to know that I have their back for the rest of their lives. And so it's kind of a commitment from me to my kids. And as I grew, I found Answer Connect. I found a company that embraced it. And even more, when I started going to events, people would say, I talked to the lady with the blue hair and she had a crazy last name. And so it's become a brand. Between the blue hair and the last name, people know who I am. And so it would be hard to change colors, or it would be hard to not do it anymore. So I'm kind of stuck, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It's a lot of fun, and it's a conversation starter. And that's what it's all about when we were talking about relationships. So now Answer Connect, let's talk about that business. So my philosophy that I teach my clients is how to book appointments on the spot. You all are so much more than just an answering service because you've implemented that strategy. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we're a technology company in the realm of the world. And what we do is we are a live human voice that answers calls 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And I have started making a move in the last year and a half to say, book appointments when we have the callers on the phone, because that may be the only time that you connect with them. And it's imperative to use that time to capture everything that you can and then set the next steps into play. Otherwise, you're following up. And it takes 18 times now to get somebody to respond.
Wow.
That's crazy, right? Do you have time to call somebody 18 times for them to respond to you? So to your message, set the appointment at the time of the first interaction, whether it's in your book, whether it's in, on a technology platform, we use Setmore, but set the appointment. Don't let it go, because you may not get that opportunity back.
Yeah, I love it. And it makes you different than any other answering service. Who's your target market with Answer Connect?
Well, my very specific target market is franchises, but across the board, anybody who has a phone who can't answer it 100% of the time. And that should be anybody. In a lot of cases, we're backup. And we answer phones when people can't, when people are on podcasts, or when they're eating dinner, or when they're getting ready for work, or when they're at a child's, sporting event. Let us help them by taking those calls and ensuring that they never miss an opportunity. There are some companies that utilize our services as a full reception service. We messages, direct the calls by routing them to the appropriate person. And I think that's really powerful too, because in the world of paying somebody, we're much less expensive than paying a full-time person. And we offer 24-hour, 365 days service. And our agents are in the US, Canada, and the UK. So it's fun because you never know if you'll get a Scottish accent or not. But yeah, it's really, and that makes us unique too. It's really a wonderful tool to add to your company business.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to ask you some questions about marketing. Because I see you as really a marketing genius, and I want to get some of your wisdom as well. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Karen Booz of Answer Connect. All right. So, Karen, we're going to ask you about your marketing strategies. So, what are your top three marketing strategies to grow your business?
Well, a lot of that is done by an internal team that helps me. But one of the things that I really find important is relationships. And no matter what you think, a relationship is the start of business because people buy from people they trust. So I think that, building your relationship by showing up. Like you say, show up, follow up to blow up. And I think that's imperative. I think that when you market, every single thing that you do should be considered marketing.
Yeah.
And it's for growth, it's for relationships. And I think people sometimes get a little bit confused because when you build a relationship, you actually enrich your own life.
Yeah. Absolutely. So relationships are everything, and I see you everywhere. And I see that you use the community outreach, the booths. And how many days you travel last year?
It was just under 39 weeks. Yeah.
Wow, I love traveling, but I'm not sure 39 weeks is what I want to do. But we need to look at each other's calendars and see if we can meet in different places. I would love that.
Yeah.
And so I see you're a CFE as well, but you're not a franchise, franchisee or franchisor. Why did you go after the CFE? That seems a little drastic.
Yeah, it was. About 5 years ago, I decided through some accidental meetings that I wanted to focus on and pursue working with franchise. And I met a couple of people and they were CFEs and I asked them what it was and, who needed it and all of these things. And I became really intrigued by it. So when I became a member of the IFA, I started talking to them about it and asked, do I need to have one? And they said no. But if you do, you'll learn a lot more about franchising and all the things that franchisors and franchisees go through. One, to become a franchise from a singular business, but two, there's so many different intricacies that you go through, and it's an extensive program.
Mhm.
So what I did is I went back and I said, hey, I'd like to do this. Well, the really interesting thing is that when I got my CFE and it changed my title, it also changed the people that I talked to.
Uh-oh.
Because they were very interested, because they knew right there that I had taken the classes, that I understood, that I didn't have to be taught by them what the franchise industry is. And Tony, you have to show up and you have to have skin in the game, put time in, because there's so many flashes in the pan.
Yeah.
And so having that meant, one, I was engaged and I was all in. And it really did. It changed the way that I was viewed as a vendor. And I've told a lot of vendor partners that I am friends with to do it. And they agree. After getting it done, it changed the conversation.
I love that. So you just talked me into it. I'm mad at you, but happy to hear it.
We'll talk about it after the show.
Right. I've been contemplating it and do I need one more thing on my plate? Right. But I also know I'm even though I'm a franchisee, I'm also a supplier, right? In the drastic results. And I want also to be respected that I took the time. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Happy to add stuff to your plate. A lot of it can be done actually by going to events, which is what you're already doing. And
Yeah.
at a lot of the events, at the annual event, they have a lot of the classes that you can take, and then you can take some of it online. So one of the really nice things about being in the events and taking the classes is you're in rooms with other CEOs and founders like yourself, Tony. And
Yeah.
that's really nice because, again, you're building that business.
Yeah.
So it's
I
a
love it.
great
I love
marketing, to have that little title.
All right, you just talked me into it. But I do have the question. What's the biggest drastic step you've ever taken in business?
Well, I think going to the owner and the founder of my own company that I work at, Answer Connect, and saying, hey, I want to try this as an experiment. And they just kind of looked at me like, okay, how is that different? And I said, well, I'm going to find out. So I was taken out of all of the marketing, all of the leads, all of those things, and given a time frame in which I could go and see if it worked. 5 years later, there's definitely proof that it works. It was a lot of hard work. And one of the main things that it was networking, networking, networking. And when you show up in a room, you have to be bold and walk up to people that you've never met before
Yeah.
and introduce yourself and try to become a part of the conversation. And for me, it was a little scary because I'm a plus size woman with white and blue hair, and I was walking into a world that the people didn't look like me and were mostly males. And
Mm-hmm.
it was so interesting because I thought, will they accept me? And
Mm-hmm.
there was one gentleman who I consider now a dear, dear friend outside of the industry, who I sat down next to and he kind of looked at me like,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on? And we had a conversation and he was kind of stuck at the table with me. So
Yeah.
we talked for our allotted time and I gave him my card and he called me the next week. And he said, I just want to say thank you for changing my mind. And I thought that was really powerful because for me, it gave me courage to go back and to go back the way that I was. And there was just a lot of women in the industry who would come to me and they were crying because their owners, their bosses said, nope, you have to have natural color hair. And I would say, this is a natural color. Like blue is one of the most natural colors in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the sun or look at the sky, look at the ocean.
Yeah.
And it started to change. And now when you go to the IFA, you do see people with colored hair. You do see people a little more laid back. And I think that has to do with a couple of years that we're in there. But I also think it has to do with people showing up and people taking them seriously because they took time to take the classes. They did understand. And so I think that's been just the most drastic thing that I've ever done is just attempt or experiment with the franchise world and quite frankly found my passion.
Well, I love that answer. And you said something that really, and I want to thank you for transparency here. And I'm getting ready to be a little vulnerable. What I'm attempting to do, what I am doing, I closed another deal this morning as of this recording. So another franchise brand has hired me to help them. But the room is very intimidating. Not only is predominantly white, it's predominantly male, and everybody already knows each other.
Yes.
And so I feel like I'm a fish out of water. Having said that, my experience thus far has been nothing but positive, but it makes me like, so when y'all see me at IFA stuff, especially smaller conferences, not the big one, but the smaller ones where I might be the only one in the room standing out, I need y'all to embrace me and let me know I'm in the right place with the right people. And that's me being vulnerable. Y'all, if you've never been the only one in an all black room, then you don't hear what I'm saying.
It's
Go
it's
ahead.
powerful what you
Yeah.
just said. It's powerful. And what I want to say is if I'm where you are, I'm going to introduce you. And I think that's one of the nice things about the IFA is I did feel different. I felt very different from the people that I was looking at. And what I found is that they are embracing, but I understand understand just it takes your breath away.
It does. And if you're not ever been the only one in a majority room, you don't understand. Having said that, I'm the drastic lady, so I walk and talk my brand. So when I walk up to y'all and you look at me like, who is this lady? Just get used to me because I am not scared. It just is a little unnerving. Well, Karen, tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
People can get in touch with me, Karen at answerconnect.com. And my phone number is 888-822-2034. And I would love to talk to you and love to embrace you. And Tony, thank you for saying hi to me because I cherish this relationship.
Oh, thank you. Fortune's in the follow-up. The relationships are in the follow-up, y'all. And she and I are proof that follow-up changes lives. Thank you so much, Karen, for your time. We're going to take another break and we'll be right back with my final thoughts. Wow, what a powerful interview. I hope y'all were paying attention. What is it going to make you unique so that you can stand out? Whether it's blue hair or brown skin, use that to your advantage. And I just can't wait to see Karen soon at the IFA conference. We are quickly fast friends, and I'm just grateful to have her in my world. Pick up your copy of the book, Show Up, Be Up, Follow Up to Blow Up. 25 short stories proving that networking works. You can get it at showuptoblowup.com. Showuptoblowup.com takes you to the Amazon page, and you can get the Kindle version or the paperback version. I want to say thank you for watching this show, and please share it. Sharing is caring. If you're interested in being a guest, please reach out to me, DM me on whatever platform you're watching, and let's get you on our show. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow, and we'll see you next week. Bye.